has always been a source of inspiration to me. I am what I am today in thought and action is all thanks to her. Right from the very beginning, when I was adopted into the family in 1949, I always felt comfortable being in her company. Throughout my teens and my early 20s, there was a special bond between us. We could spend hours talking about anything under the sun, sing for hours in our elder brother's room, and confide in each other. Elegant in her dressing, eloquent in her speech, well-mannered and always soft-spoken. I've always looked up to her as my role model. She was very generous. I inherited many of her personal belongings while growing up, dresses, handbags, shoes, to name a few. She has touched my life in more ways than I can remember, and for that, my beloved sister, Aggie, will be dearly missed by all of us whose lives she has touched in more than one way. Aggie, Agatha Wilhelm, rest in profound love, light, peace. Amen. It is from my nephew, David, who lives in Perth, Australia. So Auntie Aggie was the coolest aunt. I recall as a 6-year-old in Singapore, the visits to her house surrounded by trees near the beach. The rides in her MG, she had a red sports car, to the city, to the shops. This was a treat as we didn't go into the city often. She was progressive, modern, always a lively spirit, above all, a kind and loving aunt. David, your nephew. Niece, also in Australia, she says, my memories of you, Aggie, and Aunt Agatha, were always happy ones. You were always calm, loving, and giving. You gave me my first red shoes. I loved them so much that I wore them everywhere. I also remember that you brought me my first pretty swimsuit and a long dotted dress that were in the colors of red, white, and blue. How appropriate. You gave me my first vintage doll, all dressed up in burgundy for Christmas. She was a beautiful doll and was never too old to receive a doll from you. I remember you driving Mom and me in your sporty car, and you didn't like wearing shoes on your feet when you drive. You always looked lovely, always slim and attractive in the clothes you wore. You are at peace now with Uncle Lucky. You will always be thought of lovingly. I love you, Auntie Agatha. This is from my granddaughter. She's from California. It's from Cecily. Dear Auntie Aggie, it's hard to imagine that the next time I go on a trip, I won't have my snack buddy in the back of the car next to me, or anyone else to share a room with to squash a strange bug in the hotel room. It's hard to imagine getting to Mom, Papa, and Nana's house and not being able to feel your kind and peaceful presence, or opening up a Chinese New Year red envelope knowing there was money and it was from you. Someone as thoughtful as you. I will miss your soft voice. I wish I could tell you that I love you again. It is not hard to imagine the lives you have touched with your kind heart. Thank you for being such a beautiful and peaceful soul. I love you and I will miss you, Cecily. I have another from my niece in Australia, but it was a little bit too late to print it out, so I'm going to read it from my phone. If I can find it.
Glad you didn't take up law, Auntie.
Yeah.
Where is it? I obviously lost it, so I'm going to try to wing it. We were a big family of 9. 3 brothers and 6 girls. I'm the youngest of the 6. There was a picture, an old picture, that showed Aggie when she was 13 years old and I was a baby. And I was told that at age 13, she sewed for all of us. My sister Margaret in Canada said that she watched my sister sew my baby suit. Not only did she sew, she embroidered. She did smocking and she had embroidery. And this was amazing for being a 13-year-old. And because of my sister, I've learned to sew, to knit, to crochet, to macrame, and I can't remember what else, but she got me my first job when I was 14 years old during my school holidays. She taught me the value of money and how to be a responsible person. I am what I am today because of my sister. She bought me my first teddy bear when I was 12 years old because we were so poor and she was the only one working. In the 50s and 60s, we had little petticoats. She got me my first one. She sewed for me and bought me my first store-bought dress. Between her and Lucky, they helped me go through school. And I'll be forever grateful for that. This last month, sleeping in the same bed with her and being kicked by her every night. I tell her in the morning, I say, you kicked me. And she smiled, this big smile of hers. And I didn't realize how happy one person can be when she asked me, can I have a sip of your coffee? So the last few nights, when I slept with her, she would reach out and hold my hand and squeeze it real tight. So for that, that's my memory of her. I'll always remember. So I love my sister. It doesn't seem real that she's not here. I keep turning around thinking she's going to be here, but she's gone. Everyone says, and I believe that she's in a better place, and I'm very happy. She's up there with angels, giving them hell. And not me. So, for my beloved sister, I want to thank you all for being her friends, and invite anyone here to say whatever memories you have of her. Thank you.
From the White family. I do not know how to say the first 2 words of this.
Playa Naranjo.
That Aggie and Lucky and Pete were a home away from home. Aggie was always made us feel like a part of her own family. She would go all the way out to ensure that our stay was memorable. But most of all, she made us feel like we had a second home. We had a place at her dinner table and were always introduced as a family. We enjoyed lots of culinary experiences and learned how to host a steamboat cookout and eat her famous coconut rice. She taught us the value of hard work and inspired us to follow our dreams. Her love for animals, especially for dogs, transcended to a love for wildlife and the conservation of our planet. The lady with no sandals didn't shy away from her opinion and gave honest and thoughtful advice. She was a great role model, not just as a mother and a wife, but as a kind and shy, powerful woman. We will cherish Aggie's memories in our hearts. Her contagious laughter will tickle our souls and remind us that life is beautiful. You will be missed, Dragon Lady.
Much more than I even knew. I came here 6 years ago and bought a house on the other side of the ferry, and I was given Aggie's name as someone who might be able to help me move, assimilate in Costa Rica. And she did not disappoint. She was much better than I can say. Muy simpático, muy buena mujer, corazón muy grande. If I had a problem, or if I needed some advice, or if I needed some help, Aggie was there. I mean, she would even come by the house and check on me. She let me use her office when she still owned the hotel. I would come there before I had internet or telephone service, or I could establish all of those contracts, and I could use her office like I was a secretary for all of my business. And I sincerely appreciated what she gave me. And probably I have known her fewer years than most of you, but she was a wonderful person. And this community is gonna miss her for sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Fue una experiencia diferente. Yo he podido ayudar a otras personas, pero en este caso era diferente. Yo llegué aquí y yo no hablo inglés. La persona encargada era doña Clara. Y siempre teníamos que hablarnos por medio de Google. Google nos llevó hasta el final de Doña Agui. En un mes yo pude darme cuenta la gran persona que era Doña Agui, el gran corazón que ella tenía, una persona tan agradecida, creo que con Dios y con la vida, porque hasta en su último momento, en su último respirar, dijo gracias. Dijo gracias porque yo siento que ella vivió sus últimos días satisfecha. Aún en su dolor, siempre dio gracias a Dios por un día más, porque yo llegaba a las 7:30 de la mañana y ella siempre sonreía, siempre estaba sonriente, aún con su dolor. Igual doy muchísimas gracias al apoyo que tuve de parte de ellos, es muy grande. La UI siempre estuvo ahí, Olga, siempre estuvieron conmigo para lo que yo ocupara de parte de ellos aquí. Como les digo, ella nunca tuve la oportunidad de tener cercanía con ella, pero toda una vida mi mamá trabajó con ella. O sea, ella nos vio, crecimos gracias al trabajo que ella le dio a mi madre. Lo que hoy nosotros somos, se lo debo a mi mamá con el gran esfuerzo y a Doña Agui por haberle dado trabajo a ella. Y eso son cosas que se llevan en el corazón, son cosas que se llevan en el alma, porque no todos tenemos la oportunidad, como yo, que desde pequeñita sin tener cercanía con ella, pude ver el final de su vida. Para mí eso fue un privilegio. Muchísimas gracias y a ellos les digo, es duro, pero Dios todo lo puede. Con Dios todo lo puede. Y nos pudimos dar cuenta en tan pocos días porque siempre estuvimos de la mano. Juntos se llega a un final feliz. Juntos todos pueden. Y que Dios les bendiga y les dé mucha fortaleza. Gracias.
Gracias.
And I'm going to have him read, okay?
Okay. My auntie Aggie was a very sweet and kind-hearted person. She was always smiling. She was my ray of sunshine. I always loved when she visited San Diego. We would go shopping and eat at our family's favorite restaurant. She was humble and selfless. She gave us hugs that were warm and filled with love. She had a gentle and peaceful spirit. She will be dearly missed. We will miss her beautiful presence in our life. She will always hold a special place in my heart. Rest in peace, Auntie, until we meet again.
That's from G. Thank you. Did a great job.
I didn't know what to expect when I got down here the last time with Aggie. How hard it must have been to follow people to not take care of her way, and they had to. Not being able to do things herself anymore. I know in these years I've known her, how independent she was. How she tried to do everything for herself and for others. When I walked to her room, she looked the same, just tired, not talking much. I didn't know if she would realize it was me who came to be with her and to be with her son. But when Pete said, look who's here, Mama. Sarah's here. Her eyes lit up. She smiled so big. She grabbed my hand, the tightest I've ever felt before, and we both started crying. It took out so much energy from her just to cry or to try to speak. It broke my heart. It broke all of our hearts, and how helpless we felt. But I know she knew who was there, who was caring for her. How thankful she was, even as exhausting as it was for her to speak. She always said thank you. She was always grateful. She was such a beautiful person, inside and out. It's no wonder Pete is the way he is. He is the person he is because of her. And of course, Lucky. He has so many of her same qualities. I know that it made her proud to see what a good man he is still, a good man he is, and a good man he still is becoming. I know I am. Noah is. It's still unreal to me sometimes that I get to be the wife to her son. He is the most caring and hardworking man I've ever known. He is an amazing husband, father, and friend. I'm so thankful Noah has someone like him to look up to and admire. We joke around about how cool he is, but he truly is the most coolest person I know. And it has so much to do with her. She welcomed Noah and I into her life with open arms. I wish I would have had the privilege to meet and know Lucky. I wish Aggie had more time to get to know one another, to hear more of her life, to spend more holidays together, just to be together in person. The times we did share will always hold a special place in my heart. Don't worry, Mama. Noah and I will take good care of you.
I didn't really know Aggie. I just met Aggie a couple of times over the years. I knew Lucky a lot better. But my daughters were basically like little sisters to Pete, and they always spoke of Aggie as a person that they admired, they loved, and were very appreciative of the kindness and hospitality they always showed my daughters. So the couple of times that I did meet her, maybe one time was not the most ideal of conditions, but my wife and my daughters and I always appreciated the fact that Lucky and Aggie and Pete were like kind of family to my daughters, and they're very sorry that they couldn't be here, but so I'm the one that has to give the kindness, and she will be missed.
Thank you, sir.
Auntie Phone, that's what she calls me. I hope I'm not too late, but here's my little piece on Auntie Aggie. My dearest Auntie Aggie, I've always thought highly and graciously of you. Although when I was growing up, we did not have an opportunity to get close, but my childhood memories of you were all inspirational. I was in awe of you. Everything about you oozed coolness, graciousness, and chic. I remember till this day how I thought to myself that I wanted to be just like you when I grow up. To be so fashionable, slim, tall, trendy, well-traveled, and worldly. I admire you, and I still do. I remember feeling how lucky Pete was to be your son. I loved him because I loved you. You are so beautiful inside and out. You leave many that love you dearly, but they will always have a special place in their hearts like I do. I have always looked up to you, and from afar, you were my mentor, although you never knew. I will continue to look up to you from here, where you are floating with the angels up in heaven. May you rest in blissful peace as your mission here is done so beautifully. You have indeed touched us all. We love you. Loving niece Cody.
Lo que quería compartir con ustedes es el sentimiento que la familia tiene de Doña Agatha, que es una persona increíble, siempre estaba sonriendo, siempre tan dinámica, era de admirar su entereza, muy buena persona con su crew, como dice Clara. Ella era muy dada a la gente que colaboraba con ella, y lo increíble del destino, del mundo pequeñito, es que cuando nosotros vinimos a Playa Naranjo, Riva, la familia Riva, que es el abogado de nosotros, conocía muy bien a Piet porque vivió con ellos. Entonces siempre preguntaban por Piet. Mami tejía con doña, ¿cómo se llama? La mamá de Gabriel.
Era doña Lidia, ¿no?
Doña Livia.
Lidia.
Doña Livia teje mucho, entonces ellas en reuniones de tejido siempre le preguntaban a mi mamá por ti. Y mami feliz una vez que te conocimos en el muelle, que doña Agatha toda orgullosa presentándonos a Piet. Y así el destino nos fue acercando cada vez más, y eso es lo que les quería decir, que doña Agatha dejó en uno ese sentimiento de fuerza. Era increíble. Yo siempre preguntaba qué edad tiene doña Agatha, porque ella no aparentaba la edad que tenía. Ella parecía tan joven, siempre tan recta, sonriente, trabajadora. Así que nos quedó a todos un muy lindo recuerdo de ella, su calidez como persona. Y por dicha los conocimos a ustedes también. La vamos a recordar siempre.
Gracias,
Con mucho
señora.
cariño.
Gracias, señora.
As the mother to our son-in-law, Piet, Piet. Agatha was such a blessed addition to our family, a person of vast experience and insight. She made all around her feel comfortable and welcome. We didn't have enough opportunities to visit lately, but we were grateful for the time we had together. She was a true, unique, and special lady, and we miss her. God bless you, Agatha. All of our love, Stephanie and Brad Alderton.
Noah? Waldemar? Uncle Joe?